and welcome to another episode of Behind the Mic. I'm your host, Mahnoor Bari, digital reporter, taking over from your host, Julianne. Today we have with us Brett Smyth, Managing Director at Ideal Industries for the Europe, Middle East, and Asia Pacific regions. A global leader in electrical accessories, tools, and equipment, Ideal Industries has been part of the construction industry supply chain in the US for more than a century. Its success is founded on a market-driven approach to developing products that help to save time and reduce costs while improving quality, ease of use, and buildability. So, hi Brett, and welcome to today's episode.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Can you talk a bit about when Ideal Industries stepped into the region?
So, Ideal Industries is a family business based in the US. I've been, over 100 years old. Their focus was primarily the US for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And then I joined approximately 5 years ago, and we really then started to expand outside of the US, in particular in Europe and the Middle East. I'd previously worked for Johnson Controls and Tyco in the Middle East, so I know the area quite well. And then that's when we really started our push into the Middle East, and we started with some smaller projects first and then moved on. We had, previous to my time, had large projects in the Middle East, working on the Burj Khalifa, for example, with the LS77, but they were mainly serviced from the UK through a specification process. But that 5 years ago was when we really started to push this area.
Can you talk a bit about what is the approach to entering this region?
We manufacture high quality products that are generally made in the US or Europe. We're not interested really in getting into a kind of market trading environment for our products. We want to work with key consultants and specifiers and focus on key high profile projects where safety is key. And ease of use of the products is also important. So we're really adopting a very focused strategy within the region.
You mentioned the Burj Khalifa. Can you mention any other major projects that Ideal has supplied for in the past?
Yes, so we've just recently been involved in the expansion of the Abu Dhabi airport, the new terminal there. So we supplied, through a distributor, we supplied the lever connectors and lube. We've done various projects around the Yas Island hotels, the Hilton Hotel, and things like that, where we've again lever connectors, lubrication, pulling stuff. We were involved with the LS77 and the data products on the Atlantis Royale as well. And not so long ago, we were very heavily involved in Qatar with the stadiums and infrastructure builds there for the World Cup.
That sounds brilliant. Can you elaborate the strategies that Ideal employs to strengthen its relationships with distributors in the Middle East? And how does this partnership model contribute to success for both parties?
Well, I mentioned earlier on in this process about we want limited distributors. Mm-hmm. So we're focusing on key projects, and we want our distributors to be an extension of our family, effectively. Mm-hmm. So we pick like-minded distributors to sell our products and to work with us. And then we heavily invest in them in terms of training, in terms of product support, in terms of ongoing support around them kind of things. And we support the distributors with their sales pitches, with their technical pitches. So we're very, very heavily invested in a small number of distributors, and we're very specific about who we pick, because it's very important that our products are sold into companies that have the same ethics as we do in terms of quality of install.
That was really insightful. So my next question for you is, given the variation in standards across the Middle East and different countries, across projects, how does Ideal navigate the challenges of ensuring consistent standards across all of its products and all of its projects?
In terms of I'll start with, first of all, how do we ensure the standards of install? We can't ensure products are installed to the highest level because that's not our responsibility as a manufacturer. However, what we do is all of our products are manufactured to UL standard, which is the American Standards Authority, and CE and UK standards, UKCA and CE. So therefore, the products themselves are manufactured to the highest quality, usually in the US or Europe. What we then do is we work with, as I've stated earlier, we work with specific distributors who we train heavily and focus on safety and the importance of standards in the install. And we work with the end users to focus on the same things. We provide a lot of information around the importance of health and safety, in particular electrics and installations. We do articles through Construction Week, we do seminars, and we continue to train. So although the actual install is not our responsibility, we invest very, very heavily to make sure that the people we are working with adhere to the highest level of standards, because safety is the most important thing for us as a business.
And safety is so important. My next question for you is, can you share some more insights about how Ideal identifies specific products to bring to the Middle East market? For example, how did the Yellow 77 product, which is an electrical lubricant for cable pulls, how did you determine that that works well in this hot climate? And how does it address the unique challenges posed in this region?
Okay, I'll answer that question in two parts. So the first part is, how do we identify products for the region? So Middle East region is a region like no other in the world. Generally on the sites, on the key construction sites here, you will have lots of labour who have a basic electrical understanding, and they will be managed and supervised by an electrician or a qualified electrician, which is not common in, say, the US or the UK or Europe. So what we will do is we really try and identify products to sell here that are very easy to install and meet the highest level of safety standards. An example of that would be our lever connector. There's no flexibility on the way it's installed. Because of the way the lever snaps, it's consistent, as opposed to something like a terminal strip, which is another way of installing, terminating electricity, where it's reliant on the electrician getting the right torque on the screwdriver. We try and take that away from the installer and make it as simple as possible, consistent as possible, with the highest level of safety. So we only sell products that are very simple to install, and will meet that three criteria. In terms of the L77, that product was developed with the Middle East in mind, because the conditions here are extremely harsh, in particular hot. And it's not just about the install and when the L77 is put into the conduit and the pipe work. It's more the storage is quite important. You can bring products into the region. They can be sat in a container or on a port for a long time. So we had to bear that in mind in terms of the packaging, the way it's stored, and things like that. So with the L77, the reason it's so popular here is it's very consistent in really harsh conditions. It will not melt, it will not dry out, it will stay consistent all the time. So it's, again, easier on the job sites, which at times can be 50 degrees. It's very easy to keep that consistency and for the staff to use the product.
The stability seems to be the key.
Stability is key, because it has to stay stable so that you get the right level of lubrication in the pipe work, and it reduces friction, which obviously increases the ease of pull, but also safety.
So this seems to indicate a high level of knowledge of the local market. Can you also explain in what ways does your in-depth understanding of the Middle East from your past experience here of site conditions and workforce capabilities and property development trends. How do all of those influence Ideal Industries' decisions on product offerings or innovations for this region?
Well, I was lucky enough to work for, in the past for Tyco, which is now Johnson Controls, for 10 years. And they were very, very heavily involved in the construction boom in the UAE and also in Saudi Arabia in particular. I'm picking two key markets there. And I was lucky to be involved in that because Tyco were a high profile supplier of fire safety equipment. They have an amazing product and they had amazing distributors and clients here. And that enabled me, sometimes from afar to get a really good understanding of the market here and the challenges we face, but also the opportunities that are here, because it is a land of opportunity. When you look at the development of Dubai in particular over the last 20 years, now Saudi's going through a similar boom with places like NEOM. So that experience, that many years of experience of supporting involvement in the region, allowed me to adapt our strategy at Ideal to focus in the same way as, say, Tyco used to do, key distributors, premium distributors, key projects, with safety as a key component of what we're trying to do. In terms of the changes, the markets are changing because it used to be, UAE used to be the key development, and it's obviously moved to Qatar, Saudi, and now it's coming back to the UAE as investment. And we have to pivot for that. As I said, in our area of electrics, we are on site at times working with many nationalities, labour from all over the world, different standards of labour capabilities. So again, we really focus on education through various means, directly, or whether it be seminars or whether it be articles we publish in Construction Week. We continue to bang the same drum about safety and creating awareness of the need to install electrical components in a safe way that adheres to the CE standards in particular.
On to our next question. With the growth of data centers in the UAE and the prevalence of smart buildings and smart homes, how does Ideal stay ahead of emerging innovations and trends in the construction sector in particular? Can you share more about, for example, the FT45 system and how it addresses specific needs of data cabling in the region?
You've raised a very good point about the changes. The region here, in particular in Dubai, in the UAE, for many years was about construction of hotels and construction of residential buildings. And that really funded the growth, let's say, for 15 years. There's now a pivot towards creating a lot of data centers, attracting a lot of the digital businesses to the region, which will preserve the future of the kingdom. From our perspective, data installation is a key focus for us. You rightly mentioned our FT45, which is a key product used and a big product that's sold within this region. And again, it comes back to the fundamentals that I spoke about earlier of electrical installations. We've developed a product that's very simple to use. It's easy to teach somebody to use it. It's simple to use and it's extremely consistent, because that is the key. We want safe, consistent installations of our of products, and our job as a manufacturer of components and tools is to make that job easy. So we do see a big growth in that area. We've got the FT45 and the connectors that go with it, but we've also got a full range of other products that go with data as well in terms of testing and installation. And that is a really big focus for us going forward as we pivot our strategy from core construction projects to data projects. And as you said, even basic construction of homes and apartments, they're now smart homes, smart buildings. They all need data connect cables installed, the alarms, the CCTV, heating controls is all done through data cabling, which we make very good and easy to install products for.
And now it's time for our final question. Given the pressures of tight construction schedules and high quality expectations in the Middle East, how does Ideal tailor its range of products to respond to these market characteristics? And can you provide some examples of solutions that are designed to overcome common challenges faced in the Middle East in particular?
In terms of quality, as I've said, we really, as a business, try and avoid manufacturing in low-cost countries. We try to manufacture in countries that adhere to the highest standards of manufacturing. We have all our products thoroughly tested to the ULC, UKCA standards, so they're meeting the highest level of standard in terms of manufacture and in terms of standards. The bit we can't control is when somebody is using that product on a site. So that, as I said earlier, is where we really work with our distribution, with our end users, with the you know, might be the trader in between, to really focus on highlighting how to install our products and the need for high-level installs and safety. That's, you know, it is out of our hands as a manufacturer. However, we do take, you know, we feel that we are responsible for educating the end user as much as we possibly can about the benefits of using our products and how to use our products. And that's where, you know, we can make a real difference in this region, because a lot of our competitors don't do that. And it comes back to what I said earlier. We will focus on key distributors who have safety in their DNA, and we are completely aligned on the way we do things.
Thank you so much for being here, Brett, today. And it was lovely to have you for Construction Week.
Thank you. It's been great to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you once again for listening in to today's conversation. And don't forget to send in your suggestions for what you want to hear about next. Until next time.